Hey guys, I'd like to apologize firsthand that you can't see my face at the landing. I really wish you could, but currently my camera currently it's just not working for some reason. But anyways, I would like to welcome you to our channel, GL Studios. And personally, I'm very excited about this video, and I bet Gabe is too. And sorry if you can't hear him, but we're doing like a side-by-side video today. And our topic, and you'll get to see in just a second, what I had to go through by having the punishment taken last time. You guys really need to help me out, so please subscribe and leave a comment of who you want to get the punishment this episode, which we'll mention later. Now, the episode today we will be discussing our top 3 favorite episodes of the latest series in the Star Wars franchise, The Mandalorian. And we'll get to Gabe's first pick here in just a second.
Hey guys, that's right. We're doing 2 cameras this time so you can see both of us, so we each get the credit for this episode. So my number 3 is the chapter 3, The Sin. So in this episode, the Mandalorian, well, let's first say, I just like to say that these episodes, I was looking forward to The Mandalorian for a while when it first was announced. So basically, for me, these picks were rather easier than the Clone Wars arcs because there's hardly any episodes in this show, but a lot of episodes in the Clone Wars. So this was rather easy. So as I said before, my number 3 pick is Chapter 3, The Sin. In this episode, Mando decides to go to the client and basically takes the reward of a huge crate of Beskar to upgrade his armor completely. And it's called the Sin because he gave up, as I call him, Baby Yoda, for the crate of Beskar. So this is a sin, as hinted in the title, because he gives away, and as you see in the episode, he's kind of getting more attracted to Baby Yoda and knows that if he were to do this, it would be a bad thing to do. But he still does it, and then he regrets it. And he goes back to the client and figures out that they're actually experimenting on Baby Yoda, which is just for us, it was no, how dare you touch Baby Yoda? But basically, he upgrades his armor, and then basically try to think actually oh yeah, and then he goes back to the client and he takes out all these post-fall Empire stormtroopers who still have their armor. He takes them out. He has all of his awesome new whistling birds wrist blaster on his in his new set of armor, and he takes out all these stormtroopers and rescues Baby Yoda, and that's how the episode ends, and that's exactly why it's my number 3 spot.
Gabe's first pick was pretty good, I gotta admit. He had a good first pick. Now, his third pick was pretty amazing. I don't know why I said first, you guys. I'm all babble-minded here. Now, anyways, on to my number 3 pick. My number 3 pick is Chapter 2, The Child. Now, I bet some of you are wondering why I would choose this one. Well, it had a lot of story plot to it, I gotta admit. It had that type of... It really just introduced a different side to the Mandalorian that we didn't see in the first episode. And also just to show, it really was pretty adorable seeing Baby Yoda for the first time, seeing what he did and everything. And Queel was another dominant character, and I gotta admit, he's one of my favorite characters personally. And I gotta admit, the plot was very interesting too, and it was very cool to see the Mandalorian battle of Mudhorn. So I just gotta admit, it was a really good episode, and I hope you guys really take a good look at it because it's really amazing. And I think one of my favorite parts of that episode was where he literally like sniped and shot down like every single Jawa that was taking apart his ship personally. Oh, I should have mentioned the story plot. Alright, guys. The story plot of that episode was that the Mandalorian was just getting back with the child that he had, the asset he had picked up. And he finds out that the Jawas have taken apart his ship, and so what he did is he pretty much just went after Jawas, and he met up with Queel, and pretty much Queel took the Mandalorian and the child to go see the Jawas, and they made a deal that if they find this egg that the Jawas are so obsessed with, then they'll give back all the parts to Mando's ship. And Mando finds the egg, but sadly it's guarded by a mudhorn, a very dangerous and ferocious beast. That's why Jawas just don't go get it themselves. And that's when we find out that Baby Yoda is force sensitive, and I bet that's no surprise to no one. But I just really enjoyed that part as well. And the Mandalorian has never heard of or seen of the Force before, so it's pretty interesting to see that. Now, guys, I better give the spotlight again onto his number 2 pick.
Okay, guys. Landon's number 3 pick was a good one. Honestly, I think mine's better. No offense, Landon, but all right, that's good. So, moving on to my number 2 pick, which is episode 6, or should I say chapter 6, which is kind of weird how they do that, but chapter 6, The Prisoner. So, basically, in this episode, first of all, let's get this out of the way. The famous comedian Bill Burr is in the episode, so, why don't you like the episode? Come on, that's one of the things that gets me to like this episode. But anyway, so he goes to this station after he's been kind of, disowned from the Bounty Hunter Guild. He goes to this station and sees an old friend, and it turns out these guys say that they're going to rescue someone that was taken captive. But little does Mando know, the Mandalorian doesn't know that, they're not really trying to rescue him from someone. They're actually trying to break him out of a prison transport, a New Republic prison transport. Now, so in this episode, they recruit Mandalorian because they know he's the best best in the business. So basically, he finds a Devil Roan, a Twi'lek, and a human, and a droid. And then there's Shihan. I'm not really sure exactly what the Devil Ronin's name is, but then there is Mayfield. And basically, they go to rescue their friend, who is actually Shihan's sister, but they're actually trying to break him out. And once they break him out, this is further on after Mandalorian does some awesome things, killing some awesome droids in so many cool ways. But basically, moving on, after that, way later in the episode, they double-cross Mandalorian. They put him in a jail cell that's laser reflected. So he shoots his blaster, and it just bounces off the walls everywhere, and it's chaos, and everyone's like, oh no, is Mando gonna be stuck there forever? Well, then he does this. He waits for a rotation of a droid to come by, and once this droid comes by, he grapples his head, pulls his head to him, and the grappler actually rips off the droid's head. So he grabs the droid's body and rips off his arm by breaking it through one of the windows, and he activates a mechanism that opens doors through his arm. So he actually takes the droid's arm and manually opens the door. Come on, how awesome is that? And so he escapes and eventually locks them in that freighter, or the transport, and it turns out that there was only one guy on there when it said that there was all droids. But that's not that big of a deal, because Mandalorian escapes and sends them off just to Lord knows where at that point. And so they go back to the station, and the guy that they rescued, Mando brings him back, gets his money, and actually put the New Republic's distress call beacon in the prisoner's pocket, and it ends the episode with Mando flying away, and in the background the station blows up because the New Republic's they blew up the station, really, and just seeing that just was awesome. And that's why it's my number 2 pick.
That was a pretty good pick. Gabe's got some good picks, I gotta admit. Prisoner is one of my personal favorite episodes as well. And I bet everyone will agree that Mandalorian episodes were all equally great, but you gotta have some majority. Now, my second pick is Chapter 4, Sanctuary. Now, people that'll be like, why would you choose this one? It's one of the least action-packed episodes of the series, or the season, or whatever. But I just liked it for the plot, I liked it for the storytelling it did, and again, Baby Yoda. Everyone thinks it's Baby Yoda. He's the reason why we watch The Mandalorian. Now, what the plot of that story is Mando finds a planet that's inhabitable for advanced technologies like spaceports and all that, and cities. It's pretty much a rural planet, and Mando pretty much is going to settle there. But he finds out that another bounty hunter type person, who was actually Cara Dune, who was a shock trooper for the Republic during the Galactic Civil War. It was pretty interesting to see her character, and she was on the run as well, and she just wanted to be solituded, pretty much. And they get hired by 2 gentlemen from a village that was recently ransacked by a bunch of these other aliens who pretty much have an AT-ST walker and are terrorizing them and pretty much just ransacking the place, stealing everything that they have, like their harvest and all their food they have and everything. And so they hired them pretty much to go and protect the place. And really, it's got this heartwarming type thing. Baby Yoda gets to meet some new friends. He gets to hang out a little bit, and it feels like that this is the perfect place for him. But then they find out that because, well, he can be tracked by the devices that all the guild bounty hunters have, it's not safe for him anywhere except with Mando. So pretty much they have to leave, but it ends up just having a ton of story plot. It's got a lot of side things, and it just explains a lot about the Mandalorian and what his life is really like. It's just very compelling, you guys. Now, we better get to Gabe's first pick.
Okay, guys, this is my final pick, my one to top it off. It is none other than the season finale, Chapter 8, Redemption. In this episode, you see in the beginning that they are pinned down in the cantina, and basically Moff Gideon and his forces are just trapping him in the cantina, and trapping him, Cara Dune, and Greef Karga in the cantina. Now, he has an E-web cannon, or turret, that is aimed right at him and right at the cantina, and everyone of Moff Gideon's troops just lined up in rows with their blasters armed and aiming right at the cantina. Now, in this episode, it shows that IG-11 had just taken out a ton of the scouting parties, a ton of the guards blocking the city off, and he actually lets his turret explode, taking out a lot of the guards and allowing a distraction for Mando, Greef Karga, and Cara Dune to get out of the cantina. Now they start shooting their way out, and later on in the battle, Mando is actually standing right next to the E-web box that powers the E-web. Now, Moff Gideon literally takes aim, and being the coward that he is, shoots the box right next to the E-web cannon, blows it up, and knocks Mando back really far. And Mando at this point is in critical condition. So they fall back into the cantina, and basically what happens is well, they eventually find out the sewer system, and they basically Cara Dune and Grief Karga leave Mando and IG-11, and this is the part where it's like, wait, is Mando gonna sacrifice his life? No, there's no way. But then Mando, he is revealed. His face is revealed because IG-11 says, "I need to remove your helmet to heal you," and Mando says, "Not a single living thing can see me without my helmet," or somewhere along those lines. And IG-11 says, "I am not a living thing." So he takes off his helmet, and we see his face for the first time in the series. And basically, IG-11 gives him this medical spray, and he heals up. And they go back down the sewer system and follow the footsteps of Grief Karga and Cara Dune, and go down and actually figure out that, the armor is there. And later on, the armor just destroys some stormtroopers, literally just obliterates them. But before that, she lets Mandalorian armor back up, gives him his restock on grenades, and then she irons in, basically just forms the clan of two symbol, which is a mud horn. And basically she says to Mando, "Hey Mando, did you train in the Rising Phoenix?" And he's like, "Let me think about that." "Well, yeah, I did. Why?" And she's like, "Would you like a jetpack?" And he's like, "Sure." So she gives him a jetpack, and we see her reach into a box, and it's like, what are you doing? And she brings out a jetpack, and so we see Mandalorian have a jetpack. Now, he later uses this for good use, flies up to Moff Gideon's TIE fighter, places 2 bombs on his left wing, and it blows off his left wing, and he goes down. Boom, crashes, explosions. But then we figure out, like every disappointing thing when we want a villain to die, that Moff Gideon is actually alive. But then we see something in his hand. It's like, what is that? And he's like, "Oh, hey, I got a Darksaber." And it's like, oh, great. Well, that's not good. And now we're going to figure out how he got it from Sabine, who was the last one that we know of had it, and how he gets it from her. And this episode was just nonstop action, nonstop info that we're getting about the Mandalorian, and a ton of cool stuff. And that's exactly why it's my number 1 pick.
I gotta admit, Gabe's picks are pretty good. His first episode, the final episode of the season, well, I gotta admit, season finales are always either gonna be really good, or just really sad, or just in total really bad. And I did not try to rhyme there, okay? I did not try to rhyme there. Anyways, my number 1 pick of the entire season. Now, you may think that, just listen real quick, you may have some doubts about it, but my number 1 pick is Chapter 1, which is simply titled The Mandalorian. Now, people are like, why would you choose the first episode of the series? Well, why wouldn't you? The first episode of the series is what kicks off the series. It's what gives it its plot and everything. It's what gives it the story and everything. And it explains who the characters are, main character-wise, and gives you an understanding of what this show is going to be like. And they spot on did it. And this started the Mandalorian series, and it gave insight. The first episode is pretty much just Mando getting the bounty, bringing it back to the guild, and he tries to get a new job. And he gets a job with former Imperials, part of the Imperial Remnant, and pretty much what they want him to do is capture the child, which is this asset that they've been wanting for a long time. And Mando goes to get it, he goes to the planet, he's there, he meets Quill, but again, one of my personal favorite characters. and he just goes to the place where he's held, and all of a sudden an IG-88 from the guild is there and just starts blasting, and that's when Mando just pretty much goes out and is just like, okay, either we're gonna have a problem, but I'm gonna have to work with you in order to survive. So that's what they do. They have an awesome fight scene, and then that's when he shoots IG-88 right about when he was about to shoot the asset, because Mando opened the thing and he found out it was Baby Yoda. And even though he's 50 years old, he still looks stinking adorable. Now, guys, people will be asking, why would you choose this episode? Again, it's just a really good episode. It gives you insight and everything. It introduces us to what Mandalorians are like after the Galactic Civil War. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys liked my list, because I'm going to give it back to Gabe, and he's going to out us out. Now, I'm going to stop talking now for the rest of the time. So, guys, I hope that you liked the video very, very much.
Okay, guys, that wraps up our video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, because we put a lot of our time into these videos. So please show us that you liked this video, and please just hit that like button. And if you like our channel and you like what we do, please turn that red subscribe button gray and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a single one of our videos. Because trust me when I say our videos literally only get better from here. And basically the last two videos that you see, this one and the one before it, the top 5 Clone Wars arcs, that is part of a series we like to call Best of Star Wars. Now, we'll have a lot other series for your entertainment, but that's one of them. And if you guys want us to, like, do Battlefront 2 gaming, like me and Landon, once this coronavirus thing is over, we can game together and play Battlefront 2 when he is at my house, because you can, like, play right next to each other, and it could be, like, split screen. So please do tell me if you guys want to see that, and make sure to comment down below whose list you like better, because they will have to take the person who gets the least amount of comments will have to take the challenge of, well, it's milk, strawberries, and ranch. Yeah. So, you don't want to miss that, because it's going to be disgusting. And make sure you subscribe to Star Wars Legends, which is Landon's channel, and my channel, Crosshair18, which is the O is a 0. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Or I should say, we will see you in the next video.